The following podcast is part of the Never Nervous Network, a podcast network showcasing the best and brightest new shows coming out of Louisville, Kentucky. Catch up on all the local haps with the Never Nervous podcast. Get your horror movie fix with The House by the Video Store. Discuss hot button topics with the Parade of Horribles podcast. Hear an actual conversation on actual conversations, and then get wild with me, Sean Thriller Smith, on the Sean vs. Wild podcast. The Never Nervous Podcast Network is available on iTunes, so like, subscribe, rate, and review. Keep up to date on everything going on in Louisville, Kentucky with the Never Nervous Network. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to the Sean vs. Wild podcast. It's me, the man, the myth, the Sean Thriller Smith. And in the studio today, I've got SlingHer Kyle. I've got Beretta Lynn from the Derby City Roller Girls. That's right. Roller derby, guys. Louisville's other derby. They're here. They're going to be talking about blocking. They're going to be talking about jamming. If that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry. They're explaining everything to you. The history of the roller derby, the rules. They're going to be talking about all kinds of good stuff. And then, of course, I'm going to be talking to them about Dungeons and Dragons, country music, all the stuff that people are going to want to know, because that's how we roll here on the Sean vs. Wild podcast. You get some information, you get some education, and you get some entertainment. That's just how it is. That's how I do that. Most importantly, they're going to be talking about their bout that's on April 28th. That's at Champs Rollerdrome. And they're basically going to be doing an exhibition match, half the team versus the other half of the team. It's going to be something special. It's kicking off the roller derby season, so you're definitely going to want to check that out. Also, for all my Louisville residents, you made it through this weekend. If you're listening to this, you made it through Thunder. Thunder. You know what Thunder is. And if you don't know what Thunder is, if you're not from Louisville and you just heard me sing that and you're going to be like, what the heck did that mean? Well, basically Thunder over Louisville, a huge fireworks extravaganza. Also, it's a great time to hang out with your friends and drink some cold beers. So I pretty much did that too. If you're listening to this, you made it through. Congratulations on your survival. Big weekend. I did call a beer pong tournament, pro bono. Didn't charge anything. And I didn't even have a microphone. I actually was just talking into a can of beer, but there was beer pong. So shout out to Greg Wilkerson for helping me with that. Boy, was that exciting. But yeah, here it is. It's Monday morning, and we're all here. We made it. We survived, guys. And let me take care of some business since we're here. This show is sponsored by AudiofileInc.com. That's where you go to get your T-shirts printed, at least as far as I'm concerned. Best deal in town. They're going to print on whatever T-shirt you want. And not just T-shirts. You can get sweatshirts. You can get tank tops. You can get short shorts or, long johns. Whatever you want. Summer's coming up. You might want to get a cutoff tee and some Daisy Dukes. They're going to print on any of that. So don't you worry about it. And they're going to have the best price in town for whatever you can imagine. So you're going to want to check out AudiofileInc.com. That's AudiofileInc.com. Also, big thanks to Joe Brock. He's going to be helping me, as always, to boop these dials and make this podcast happen. So big thanks to Joe Brock on that. Guys, I don't have a lot of time today, and I know you don't want to spend all this time listening to me. So let's go ahead and get to the goods. Let's go ahead and make it happen. But before I do that, let me backtrack here. I'm going to need you to 5-star review this on iTunes. Sorry, bro. I'm just going to need you to do that if you wouldn't mind. Those reviews, those ratings, man, they go a long way. That's what the sponsors look for. That's what gets you more visibility out there. And I'm trying to build this empire slowly but surely. So every little bit helps. If you can take just a few seconds out of your day to write a review, I'd really appreciate it. I love you guys very much. Thanks so much for tuning in again. This is episode 17 with the Derby City Roller Girls. Strap on your skates. Get ready to jam. Let's get wild. Noise. I'm going to start the podcast out very noise. Noise. All right, guys. This is the Sean vs. Wild podcast. This is not the noise podcast, okay? And I'm in the House of Prime. I'm not even at my normal studio in the Smithsonian, probably because of all the birds and the guys on their weed eaters every time I try to record something. So I'm at House of Prime right now, and I am talking to two members of the Derby City Roller Girls, the DCRG, Louisville's other derby. I've got SlingHer Kyle, and I've got Beretta Lynn, right here. How are you today, ladies?
Doing good, yeah.
I like that. It does sound like the Saturday Night Live, like,
hello.
Yes.
I like rice.
But yeah, so SlingHer Kyle and Beretta Lynn, where did you guys come up with these names?
Ooh, you want to go first?
I will. I started playing roller derby a few years ago with the rec league, back when we had a rec league, and before you're on the team, you start thinking about what your name's going to be. And I was sitting around a fire with some friends who don't play roller derby, and they were helping me come up with it. And I'm a little country girl, kind of a pistol, and that's basically how it came to be.
Small, sassy, just like Beretta Lynn.
Yeah.
I guess she was, short.
Yeah,
She's definitely sassy.
She is. She is.
So there you go. And SlingHer Kyle, where did you come up with that?
So whenever I started playing roller derby a few years ago, I actually took a poll. I had a few names that people had helped me come up with, and I polled everybody, and I ended up picking SlingHer Kyle, which was not the one everybody else picked.
What did everybody else pick?
Oh my gosh, what was it? It was a play on, I cannot remember.
Man,
that's how much it wasn't worth. It wasn't meant to be.
It wasn't worth my time.
It wasn't
guys.
meant to be. So I ended up going with SlingHer Kyle because I love Catwoman.
Yes.
So it's a play on her real name, Selena Kyle.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, SlingHer Kyle. So,
I've known you for a long time, and it's very hard for me to not call you by your regular name. So, SlingHer, I can tell by being here in the House of Prime, your residence, that you're a big comic book fan.
maybe just a little.
There's a lot of memorabilia in this home.
There might be a couple of shelves.
Right.
Just a few. Maybe a few action figures.
Right, yes. Guys, for those of you that are, because podcast is such a visual medium, we are surrounded by collectibles. Thousands of collectibles. So, yeah, definitely a big comic book fan. And we got Beretta Lynn, definitely a country music fan. I grew up on country music, actually.
Yeah, I went through a phase when I was in high school where it wasn't cool, and then I realized, well, that's where my roots are. So,
right.
Yeah.
The only period of country music that is not cool for me is that period where there was a bunch of 40-year-old dudes in shell necklaces.
Yeah.
Rascal Flats or something.
Yeah.
I'm just going to wear this polo.
Yeah.
Highlight this hair. I know I'm 50. We're just going to make it happen.
Yeah. I like the old country music where it tells a story.
Right.
That's where I like it.
I can't say that I blame you on that. So, SlingHer, you are a blocker.
Yes.
And Beretta, you are a jammer.
Yes.
And for those of you guys that have no idea what that means, I've got two ladies right here that are going to explain to you what's a blocker, what's a jammer, what are the general rules of roller derby for someone that has never been to roller derby before, never experienced it before.
SlingHer, I think you said you have this explanation down to a science.
I'm going to let you handle this.
I will do my best. So the general idea of roller derby is that you have 4 blockers from each team on the track, and then you have 2 jammers, 1 from each team. The jammers are the ones that are going to score points. They have a star on their helmet. And the idea is the blocker's job is to stop the other team's jammer while helping their jammer get through the pack. And the pack is made up by the blockers. Once a jammer gets through the entire pack, on every pass after that, she gets a point for each opposing blocker. And that's kind of as basic as it can get. So you want to watch the jammer.
That was a great summary.
I was trying.
I went to a few games and I'm like, what am I watching here?
What's happening?
I had to have you walk me through it. So that basic summary is, it's accurate. And then basically, the team with the most points wins.
Yep. Team with the most points wins every time.
Nailed it. Guys, you're not going to believe this is a novel concept, but the team with the most points is going to win this time.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I hear it's not like that in golf.
No, I don't think so. Oh, yeah, you're right. Dang, you nailed it.
That's about it. But other than that.
So, yeah, what is some, what is little background info on DCRG, on Derby City Roller Girls?
The Derby City Roller Girls are Louisville's first derby. We started out in 2005. We were a business at the time. Just recently, we have moved over to a nonprofit organization,
Cool. Very
which is
cool.
pretty bomb. So if you ever want to help, let us know. And it's just awesome. It's a great place for all different kinds of people, volunteers, NSOs, which are non-skating officials, referees, skaters, and we all just get together and work with each other to be better and skate. And it's awesome. It's like a family.
It is. It's more like a family than a team. I mean, everyone is a member of the team, but it's definitely a family.
What do you like most about roller derby?
Other than we get to hit each other, what that is a fun part, but it really is the camaraderie that comes along with it, because you quickly realize no matter where you start, you are a member of this family, and that everyone is going to be there for you, and you just want to be there for everybody else, for this common goal, but then also just in life in general.
Yeah, I think that that's really great, because anytime we have anything that happens like outside of derby, when you have any sort of personal issues or, things happen in life, we're always there. If somebody gets injured, we're bringing them food. If, a family member's in the hospital, we give each other cards and check in and message. And so it's just really great, because it's awesome, because we get to hit each other on the track, but then we're
That's
always
awesome.
like high-fiving off the track.
Yeah. It's kind of like that same feeling, that they talk about in like Fight Club or whatever, that like it's the aggression, man, that like brings everybody, makes a stronger bond.
Right?
There's nothing better than your teammate knocking you across the floor and you thinking, wow, I'm glad you're on my team right now.
Yeah, whenever the game comes around, that's going to be so awesome.
Yes.
I'm always like, that really sucked, but it was so just kick ass. Like, let's do it.
And I've seen you, SlingHer, like walk around with like, you got bruises and bumps and you're like, oh, I got a busted tibia or something like that.
Yeah, maybe not that extreme. But yeah, it's definitely a full contact sport. You're playing offense and defense at the same time. You're on skates and people are hitting you. So you're going to get the bumps and bruises. I think Beretta gets a little bit more than I do as a jammer. She has a little bit of a target on her back. But yeah, you have to be ready for that for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of your trophy that you get to carry around. You get to advertise with it.
Yeah, and as a jammer, everybody's out. You said a target on the back, but you got a star on the helmet.
Yeah.
So guys, when you're going to the game, look for the star on the helmet. That is going to be a dead giveaway of the jammer. And yeah, everybody's out for you. Everybody's trying to stop you.
Yeah, except your team's trying to help you, but they're also trying to stop the other jammer. So you have that big bullseye, and they are going for you.
Yeah, and you have to get through like a wall of bodies, just trying to make your rounds. What all goes into your training to want to do this?
The Women's Flat Track Derby Association is kind of our mothership, our governing body. It's an international organization. Would it be an organization?
I think so, yeah. They're a nonprofit.
They have this set of, just to start out even, of basic skills that you have to be able to reach before you can actually play on a team. And it involves things like that you wouldn't necessarily normally do at the skating rink when you're growing up, but that you can build upon, and so that you can play this full contact sport safely.
Right.
And it's nice, too, because even when you come in and you're not able to do those skills, that's where the training camps come in. You can come in with the training camps and work on those set skills. You have to get like 27 laps in 5 minutes. That is my weakness. And
that would definitely be my weakness.
And, you work on jumping and all of those skills, and then you get to test. Once you pass that test, you get to be on the team. And the team practices 3 times a week for 2 hours. And then we get together sometimes for outdoor skates, and we all train outside of derby. You kind of have to know that that's going to come into play. We have Barefit is one of our sponsors. A lot of us train there off skates. And
what is Barefit?
Barefit's like a CrossFit, and it's awesome. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Adventure training.
Yeah, adventure
CrossFit
training.
kind of thing.
So you guys are like throwing tires around and hitting stuff with sledgehammers and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
That would be right up my alley. I'd be interested in that, probably. I don't know. If getting off the couch, man, it's just making that first step.
Can bring the tire to the couch.
That's true.
You know, just do like
Just flip it over, watch some Netflix, flip it over again. Just during the commercial breaks, flip it over. So yeah, well, so you guys that takes a certain amount of commitment, obviously, and focus. You're training practically 3, 4, 5 days out of every week.
Yeah.
Just to do this.
Yeah.
for sure.
But then you find that if you have a week off, or there's a time when we have a practice canceled or something, you find yourself thinking, well, what do I do with myself? Because you want to be there. You eventually want to be there.
Yeah, you want to be skating, and you're like, you get kind of excited because you're like, oh, we've got a week off, and you're like, I'm gonna have all this extra time. And then when you have that extra time, you're like,
I want to go skate.
I want to skate.
And then
with
when you get
team.
back, you're like, oh, my body is sore again from everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, let me ask you guys, where you guys have a game coming up?
Yes.
We do.
And where can people check out this game? What are the deets of this game that you speak of?
On April 28th at 8 p.m. at Champs Rollerdrome in Linden, we will have an exposition bout. It's the Hells of Louisville versus the Bells of Louisville. We're taking our whole team, A team and B team, the All-Stars and the Bourbon Brawlers, and we're dividing them up and mixing together and just playing each other, and it's going to be a really, really fun time.
Be so fun.
Well, that's great because everybody on the team is going to be, on display. Everybody's going to see what's up.
Yeah, it's a great time for everybody to meet the newer skaters who've just made the team, and then also to see all their favorites out there skating. And it's so much fun because you get to play with everybody that you know.
Right. And then it's going to be something special because it's not your normal teams. It's all mixed up.
Yep.
Right.
It's a Royal Rumble,
free-for-all.
guys. I gotcha. SlingHer and I love wrestling, by the way. So you're probably going to be a lot of wrestling. I don't know. I'm going to talk about wrestling every once in a while.
I love wrestling, and it's definitely something we do with a lot of our spare time.
That sounded weird. Not you and I.
We don't wrestle each other.
No. But we do dress up like wrestlers for WrestleMania. That may have happened this season. I don't know.
I may have had a goatee.
And dressed like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I feel, though, like if you like wrestling, roller derby is honestly not that far off. There's all this pageantry and fanfare. You're going to see badass women literally beat each other. It's a physical sport, and everybody. You got the outfits, you got the music, you've got the alter egos.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, especially when derby first started back in the day, it was very much like wrestling. It was more of like a show. I think there was a lot more of like the predetermined, and they had like fist fights and all that kind of stuff. It's not so much like that anymore in that sense. We definitely still have our alter egos, and people have certain things that they wear, and that's all. That's great. I love that we've kept that aspect, but we've definitely moved derby forward into more of an athletic sport. Sure. And I think that's awesome because it's definitely way hard.
Yeah, it's definitely an athletic sport.
Yeah, and I feel like when you cut out, the biggest thing about like something like wrestling, for example, there's like people will, if it is predetermined or something like that, there's a certain level of, people just don't respect it as much or something. But having roller derby just be 100%, it's a points game, it's a physical game, but it's on the level of, the wrestling fan can like it, but also the football fan can like it.
For sure. Because I think sometimes it feels like football on skates when somebody comes up and hits you super hard.
We do have a phrase called scrum starts.
Yeah.
So there's the rugby aspect of it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because it is like rugby on skates, too.
Yeah. It's and I love it too because roller derby is still a growing sport. It's still a changing sport, and being a part of it is really awesome because all of the leagues have representatives that talk back and forth with WIFTA, which is our governing body, and we get to vote and have a say in how our sport is and where it's going. And it's really cool, like when rules come through and change, or they're like, this will make it better, or this, and it's just awesome because it's always evolving.
Right. Where do you want to see it go? Oh. That's a loaded question. But you know what? I'm going to get to the hot button
the
topics.
The Olympics would be great if we could get it. We're on ESPN3 now. the
true.
championship games, and even more than that. The championship games I know are on ESPN3.
That's fantastic. I remember, roller derby especially like in the 80s, I want to say that because I'm probably older than most listeners out there. I do remember there being, I believe like men's roller derby on after wrestling. But to have like a televised or, to have that televised, that's a big deal. I mean, that's obviously where people are going to be able to be exposed to the sport.
For sure. I think it would be great if we could, get more televised, get more stuff on ESPN or get into the Olympics, because I feel like it is definitely a warranted, sport.
I mean, if curling is in the Olympics, roller derby seems way more exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you agree?
People always want to think, the rules are too complicated, but I still don't understand the rules to football, and I still enjoy watching it. So
That's true.
That is accurate.
And a sport whose rules that I thought would be simple, and then the more that I am exposed to it, which is like very little, but NASCAR. NASCAR is a sport that I'm like, everybody watches it. Apparently, it has more rules than just
going in a circle,
winning and being first. So I don't know. Anyway, speaking of that. What got you guys into, wanting to do this? We've been talking about, it's rough. It's, it's a lot of dedication. It's a lot of work. But where did you, and Beretta, I'll ask you first, but how did you find roller derby or how did it find you? And what made you decide that this is something that you wanted to participate in?
About 7 or 8 years ago, I had some friends that I was working with, and their girlfriends and wives, a couple of their significant others were playing with the league, and I came to a game and watched a game with them. At the time, I was a touring actor, so I was traveling a lot and couldn't commit to something like that. But even back then, I looked at it and thought, I want to do that someday. And then I finally, a few years ago, moved back to Louisville, decided to put my roots down here. And the first thing I did was email the Derby City Roller Girls and tell them that I wanted to get in on training.
That's awesome. And you were an actor.
I was.
Who's your favorite actor?
My favorite? Oh, that's put me on the spot. The first thing I thought of was Tom Hanks, even though he's just in general.
Has Tom Hanks ever put out a movie where you watch it and you're like,
that
disappointed?
Wasn't any good, And he's a producer.
What
it's
a
just
hack.
In general.
Hanks. Blew it again, Hanks.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I feel like all those movies make you feel good.
Yeah.
Unless they make you feel sad.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's doing his job.
Yeah.
Unless they crush your soul.
Which happens.
So you were an actor. And you know what? Let's go ahead and explore that.
Yeah.
What was acting like?
It was great. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor, and I remember being in plays in middle school and high school, and went to Western Kentucky University and got my degree in performing arts, and pursued that for several years. And long story short, I did a lot of outdoor drama, worked with the horses, worked with other animals, and decided that was really where my passion lied was working with animals. So I went back to school to become a veterinary technician.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's so cool. I love animals. Who doesn't love animals, for real?
I love animals.
Dude, speaking of animals, this iguana cage just literally shut off all its lights and vapors.
He said it's bedtime.
There's an iguana here, guys. There's an iguana on set.
It is Lecter's bedtime. It automatically shuts off so that nobody forgets that it's his bedtime, because he goes to bed earlier than us.
Right. But don't worry, I'll be literally close behind you, Lecter. Don't sweat it. And then, SlingHer, how did you get into it? Like, how did Derby find you? Where did you find Derby?
So I had heard about Derby a few years back, probably about the same time you heard about Derby. And I thought it was awesome. I was so into it, and I made a move and then moved back home. And the whole time I just kept thinking, like, I just need to do this. I need to do this. And I was like, I don't know. I'm not strong enough for this. And I just had a lot of doubt about whether or not I could do it, because I'm not very graceful without skates on. So really clumsy. And then my best friend.
Same.
Right. My best friend, Amber, was a part of the league. And she was like, you just need to do it. I'm doing it. You need to come and do it. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try. And then I fell in love with it. It was just amazing.
How has it improved your balance?
Well, off skates has gotten better. I still think I am more graceful on my
I know.
skates.
Do people ever ask you to do something athletic and you ask out loud, can I put my skates on and do it?
Yeah, can I put my skates on?
You want me to go for a run? Can I skate while you run?
Right? I do the same thing. Like sometimes at Barefoot, I'll be like, if I only had my skates on, I feel like this would be so much easier.
These laps are going to be cake if I had skates on, guys.
Right?
Like, I would much rather hit this punching bag with skates on than without. I feel so like, what do I do with my feet?
I need the element of danger. That's what I'm saying. I need speed.
I need the speed.
I got the need.
The need for speed.
You got it. So, so that's how you got into it.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. And I feel like it's definitely helped with my balance. But I know you have to do this too. But when I drive or I'm walking through a crowd or anything like that, like I have derby brain and I try to like dodge through
I try
people.
to beat those people up.
Jam driving is real life. You
It's
cannot
real
leave
life.
a practice and get on the interstate. You
Nope.
can't do it because you want to bump. It's real. That's real.
You want to like go
bump
up
them.
and be like, okay, if I cut into this lane and then I'm going to speed up and then I'm going to cut into this lane and then I'll slow down and then, nope.
Don't
it's bad.
hip check the Corolla.
Don't do it.
Oh, yeah. I just came from practice, and I figured I would just turn this thing into a real-life game of Mario Kart.
Yeah. I'm sorry, officer, but I play roller derby.
Yeah. Sorry I threw that banana peel. You were just on my tail. I figured this is the only way that you're going to be able to skirt out of control. And I will pass you.
I didn't have a green shell, so instead I threw out this old bag of, fast food I'm not supposed to be eating.
Oh, yeah. There you go. I was going to say, Mario Kart's got a new bag feature. What is going on here?
Let me know.
You would know, though. You like video games so much and everything. Well, anything nerd culture. Can I say nerd culture?
I feel like that's fair.
I'm not trying to put any labels on anybody, but nerd culture, that's a label that I'd be like, yeah, that's probably me.
Yeah. I definitely, we like to play board games. A lot of the people in the league actually like to play board games. We get together and have game nights at people's houses. And
What's your favorite board game?
put me on the spot.
Is it Ticket to Ride? Because that's my favorite every time we play it.
I feel like Ticket to Ride is probably up there for me. And every time you come over, I'm like, okay, good. Sean is going to say, let's play Ticket to Ride, so I don't have to say it.
Yeah. And you're probably also just like, oh, Sean's coming over, so we can't play any zombie games.
No zombie board games.
You don't like zombies?
Look, I've got a thing about zombies,
Okay.
guys. You're not tricking me, guys that write zombie stuff. They're not even all that cool, okay? They're just dead, and the only way you made them cool was you made some of them run. And have you ever seen that zombie movie where that outbreak happens and then all the survivors, come together, and it turns out the survivors are more of a threat than the actual zombies are? Because that's every movie and every TV show and every zombie book. Zombie writers, you're not fooling me. That's all I'm saying.
The same storyline every time.
Every time. Do you like zombies? Did I just
No, that's
did I
a valid
crap on
point.
the zombie?
No, you didn't. You didn't. That's a valid point. It just makes me want to study it more, though. I think
Right. And now when you
gotta
watch a
read up on
movie,
this.
to study the live human side of it more.
yeah, I feel like that's where me and Sean have a lot in common. We got twinsy brains most of the time, but we do not connect on the zombie topic. And we do not connect on a lot of
Pizza toppings. That's number one, numero uno. Let me ask you this question, Beretta Lynn. What's the best pizza? Or the best pizza toppings? Or combination of toppings?
The best pizza toppings. I'm a big fan of pepperoni and jalapenos.
Thank you.
Oh no.
What is the worst?
The worst would be sardines.
Oh. What's the second worst?
Second worst.
Would it be a combination of maybe...
I have a feeling. Are you not a fan of the Hawaiian pizza?
He is not a fan of the
I'm
Hawaiian
not-
pizza.
Oh, you're not a fan of the
Would you say
Hawaiian pizza.
sausage pineapple maybe the worst combo? Because it is.
That doesn't sound very appealing to me, no, to be
Thank you.
perfectly honest.
Nailed it.
Sean, quit turning my teammate against me, man.
All right, this is the Sean and Beretta versus Wild podcast here, from here on out.
SlingHer is not allowed.
This is the podcast where we only eat delicious pizza and we don't watch zombie movies.
I love sausage and pineapple. And every time we play D&D, that's all I want is a sausage pineapple pizza, and I have to get my own pizza because nobody
I
else
think
likes
that's
it.
really unique. I've heard of ham and pineapple, but I've never heard of the sausage and pineapple. So
That's
that's unique.
I don't even know how I got in on that, but at some point that was ordered and I was like, this is my jam. And Sean hates it. Sean's like, can we just get like olives? And I'm like, I hate olives. And he's
Onion.
like, what about onions? Onions are my favorite. And I'm like, I
Mushrooms.
hate onions. Mushrooms is the only thing we connect on, I think.
Can't
That's
agree
true.
on a half and half. Can they not touch at all? Can
Sometimes
the
we've
toppings
done
not-
half and half, but let's be honest. I'm going to eat more than half a pizza.
Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh, I had 3 slices. I'm so full. And I'm just like, oh, amateur.
It's my cheat day. I'm going to eat an entire pizza.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it goes every time. So yeah, and D&D. What do you think about that? You're an actress. You were an actress. You're an actress. You never just stop. Have you ever played the Dungeons and Dragons? Speaking of board games and acting,
I honestly have not.
I just called it the Dungeons and Dragons.
I did a lot of musical theater, so I'm sure you could incorporate that in some way.
Yeah, you could be a bard.
Right? You get to be a
I
bard.
know what that is. I actually know what that is. So, yeah.
You have to sing all your spells.
And you got to learn how to play free bard.
Oh, yes, free bard. That is always Sean's. Any bard we run into, that is always the ultimate. He wants at some point during the campaign for them to learn
I'm just
free
saying,
bard.
as a musician, I've heard 1 million times, listeners, it's not original to yell at a band and say, play Freebird. Okay? We've heard it 1 million times. So now in my D&D, I said, play Freebard.
All the time.
Just for funsies. Just a heckle. Just a heckle. So, just getting back on track, though. Because, you know what? That's my favorite part of the podcast, though. I like to just take a harsh left and just see what everybody's really about.
Let's see
you
where it
know?
goes.
I know who SlingHer and Beretta are on DCRG, but who are they on the inside, you know? That's what I'm going for there. Yeah, cool. Silence. Just dead silence, guys.
We are
What do you
not-
like? I don't know.
We'll
figure it out.
We got nothing. We are literally just skaters, and that is it.
That's all we do.
That's it. That's all.
That really does take up a lot of time. But you do find that it just sort of incorporates into everywhere, because that's part of what I love about when we were talking about training, is that you find a new friend or you do a new thing and you think, how can I get this person to come play roller derby?
Right?
It starts to take over.
I need to bring them into the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like too, it's just like roller derby in general has just made me so much more confident. Like I never would have done half the things that I've done if it wasn't for roller derby, and like roller derby really getting me out of my shell and showing me that I didn't need to be so scared of like social activities or like even just everyday life stuff. I was
Right.
like inner confidence.
And I don't mean to put the pressure on you guys, but, you know, it's funny because I find that, you know, knowing you and meeting other people on the team, it seems very much like almost like musicians, because a lot of times musicians, you get them together, you know, on the stage, you see them and you're like, oh, they're awesome, they're badasses. Then when you talk to them, they're like, well, you know, I'm just kind of awkward, and I started playing music because, you know, like I didn't have, you know, this is my outlet, this is my escape, because I have other stuff going on, you know. Do you get that a lot through sports and stuff like that too, or through the roller derby?
I think when one of our teammates, every time she's asked, why do you play roller derby, her stock answer is it's cheaper than therapy.
Yep.
That's great though.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's my outlet. I feel like it's where I go to really, like, I work with the team as well, but it's definitely like a thing of like self-expression and just learning new things about myself and what I'm capable of. I think even training, it's awesome because I've learned that like I couldn't do a push-up, and now it's like I do all these awesome push-ups and things at Barefit and with the team that I'm just like, oh dude, I'm actually capable of all these things. And I think that when I look at the team and when I talk to my teammates and stuff and like getting to know them over the years, it is really interesting because I think a lot of people find it intimidating when they watch us and they're like, oh, you know, they play roller derby. But then when you get to know us, like a lot of us are just like socially awkward and and like we're just really like, oh, okay, well.
I was always really afraid because, not afraid, but I'm a very small person. I know you can't see that right now, but I'm
And as a
100
jammer,
pounds.
you have to be.
Well, not necessarily. And that's part of what I love about it is I came to a game and I saw a couple other of the teammates I play with now, and they're very small. And I thought they can do that. I can do this. And so you automatically go in there and think, I'm going to have to be a jammer because I weigh 100 pounds. And that's what jammers do. They're like the little ones who squeeze through. But you can break the rules, the rules, because I didn't jam at all for probably 6 months to a year, and I can block too.
Yeah, you were telling me before the show that you also block. You're not just the jammer,
right?
You know, you're also stopping those people.
I think I would have been afraid to block at all. I mean, jamming is really hard and blocking is really hard also, but because of my size, I think I would have been afraid to block at all had I not been made to do it for a while and to try it out and to realize that you can push your boundaries, be them social or physical. Anything is possible.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but obviously like the opposite, because I'm very tall and size difference. Like me and Beretta are kind of like on opposite ends of the spectrum. So when I first started, I was like, well, I'm definitely a blocker. Like I can never jam. And with the way we've been practicing recently, it's like during drills, everyone has to jam. Like you have to trade off. And so I'm starting to realize that like, oh, like, you know, I'm not small like Beretta, but I can jam in a different style and I can get through the pack and learn new things. And that's really cool.
That's true. A different style, because if you have somebody that is is tall and can take a hit, you know, that's just as easy of a way as someone that's small that could, you know,
move out of the way. Yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
It's pretty cool. And two, whenever you're playing a team, it is really nice to have a lineup or to have people that are capable of playing more than one position. Because if you're sending Beretta out every single time, or someone like Beretta, and they have similar jamming styles, and the blockers on the other team kind of like figure it out, and they have
my number.
Yeah, they have your number.
That's true.
And that's when you send somebody out, like Slamus Aaron or Carry a Glock or, you know, somebody who has a completely different jamming style. And then everybody's like, oh crap, what was that? Like, and, you know, it throws people off. It's really nice.
That's awesome. I didn't even think about that. Of course, you know, I leave that up to the professionals to think about this sort of thing.
You're still
I just
learning.
report on it, guys. I just report on it. But yeah, well, you know, what skaters or what teams out there, like, would you say that you like model your, I don't know, performance after, that inspire you? You know, there's always like a football player or a basketball player that say, you know, Michael Jordan, or who's the Michael Jordan of roller derby?
Right now, I would. Oh gosh, that's hard to say.
It is hard to
Scald
say.
Eagle's one that's really out there. She played for the team that won the last 2 years at Portland.
Yeah, she's
and then
amazing.
she just transferred to Colorado, somewhere Denver,
I think.
But she's amazing. Her, and for me specifically, I think it's Lauren Much.
Yeah.
She's small and she's mighty and she's very smart and she grew up in the sport. So I kind of watch her and want to do what she does.
Well, I don't blame you. You got to learn from the best.
Right.
You got to stand on the shoulders of giants or titans. Whatever.
Titans,
Put them on the shoulders of something and stand on it and reach up there and grab that brass ring or that gold star.
Right.
I'm just mixing all the metaphors up, guys. I was
we're
hoping
going to
you'd help
do
me.
all the metaphors, and we're going to let you just sink or swim on your own,
Yeah.
Sean.
Just put all your eggs in one basket and burn the bridge when you get there. You know, that's the way I roll.
Yeah, I definitely think it's always a good idea to watch people who are playing your sport, especially whenever you have the opportunity to watch people who play at a really high level.
Right.
All the D1 teams, of course, are amazing. I mean, all the teams are just awesome, and everyone's always getting better. And it really pushes you to up your game. And I feel like Scald Eagle, of course, is amazing. I've been watching her for a while, and Braun Swanson, and also Freight Train. I feel like that's another one that I've always watched. I like to find people who play at a higher level that either skate similar to me or have a body similar to mine.
Right.
Because that's the great thing about roller derby is it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what body type you are, your height, nothing. Like, you are going to find a way to play roller derby. And it's our like differences that make up great packs and make up great teams. You know, because Beretta is able to do things that I'm not able to do, and I'm able to do things that Beretta isn't able to do, And it's just awesome because when you're out there together, then I know like, okay, Beretta can get over there super fast and she's going to catch her. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to hold her. And Beretta's going to catch me and it's going to be awesome. And so I think that's great about, a collective team. And then just being able to watch people play and be like, cool, she skates similar to me. She has a body type similar to mine and she can do it. So I know I can do it. And that's just awesome.
Yeah. The team aspect of it is, there are these people who stand out specifically, but that's what's so great about it is Scald Eagle is not Scald Eagle without the rest of her team. And she would,
right.
I don't know her personally, but I'm sure she would tell you that too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's a team effort.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things that I enjoy most about going to the games and stuff like that. I've been going for a couple years with you, with SlingHer and all of our friends and what have you. We've been checking out the games. And what I do like about it is that you're right. It is camaraderie. It is family, but it's empowering. It's a sport. It's a spectacle that is empowering to the people that play it and to the people that watch it. Because, like you said, it's all different types of people.
Yeah.
All shapes, all sizes, all just different personalities. Everybody coming together in one team to just kick a little ass.
For sure. And I just think that's great because to all the fans that are watching, you're going to be able to find somebody and be able to feel like, oh man, like they can do it, then I could do it. And I think even whenever you start out, like everybody starts off at different athletic levels. When I started, I had only skated like 3 times in my whole entire life. I needed to run into a wall to stop. And the tryouts at the time, what we went through, I went home and the next day I like couldn't walk. I was like pregnant lady sitting down, like lowering myself onto the couch until I just fell. And then I look at now when, I skate with my team and I'm like, man, like look how far I've come. Mm-hmm. And look how like much they've pushed me and I've pushed them and we've like moved up together and it's just really awesome.
That's what's great about seeing people out there with our training camp. If you're interested in skating at all, you get in touch with us. And when our training camp starts, we start this whole process of teaching you how to do the things that you need to do to get there. And it's so amazing to see people and to see how quickly they grow and how much everybody wants to do it. It's just really encouraging to have them there working.
Yeah. And I've talked to a ton of people and they're just like, oh, I'd love to do it. I think it would be awesome to skate, but I'm too old or I'm out of shape or I can't skate. And I look at them and I'm just like, dude, like that's not how it is. Like I couldn't skate when I started. And we have teammates of all ages, we have people from 18 up,
Right.
and we even have a juniors league that we're affiliated with. So if you're under 18, you can always contact them and get started. I'm so jealous. So jealous of the juniors.
Have that when I was a kid.
I always just think the same way in music. I'm just like, man, why didn't I just really take it seriously? Just start, playing piano or something at like 5 years old. And then by this time I would be the greatest ever.
I would be amazing.
But yeah, that's the thing though. For anybody out there that's interested, you guys are always looking for new team members.
Oh, for sure. We're always looking for new team members, volunteers. If you want to ref, if you want to be a non-skating official, we're always looking for people who want to be involved and become a part of the league as a whole, because the league itself is more than just skaters.
Right.
So if you're not interested in skating, then, you can do stats or you can do the penalty box. Or if you don't want to play, then look into reffing. Because there's something for everybody, and it's awesome, and be part of our family.
Yeah, there's always a team, and just like with me playing music, I just keep going back to that.
Right.
But it's like there are people on stage, but there's also people that get your gear on the stage, and there are people that sell your merch, and there are people that shoot photos, and there are people that a street team that comes out and hands out flyers. So
it takes a village.
It takes a village. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
How can they get in touch with you if they want to be a part of this sort of thing?
The best way to get in touch with us, of course, you can always find us on Facebook, Derby City Roller Girls, and send us a message there. And they can get you a direct email. But you can also go to our website, derbycityrollergirls.com, and go to the contact page, and it'll direct you to which email to email, depending on what you would like to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
It's kind of organized.
That easy.
It's that easy.
It's that easy, guys. With the internet, you simply click a couple buttons, boop a few keys, and you're there.
Turn a few dials.
Turn a few dials, and you're there. You're there. Yeah, so I guess let me ask here, too, as we're kind of wrapping up here, I have to ask this question, and I don't want it to sound disrespectful.
Uh-oh.
But what do you guys think about the Drew Barrymore film, Whip It?
The Whip It.
I'm sure you guys, I don't want to sound disrespectful. There's nothing disrespectful about it, but I'm sure probably with your sport, people ask you about that all the time. Like, hey, you seen Whip It?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is a common question.
True. It is. That game that they play is similar. There are different types of roller derby out there, not just the type that we play. And it is a little bit different. The gist, I think, is the same. And of course, a lot of the spectacle is involved in that movie because it's a movie.
Right.
For sure.
I do enjoy
We got to
it.
tell a story here.
It's true. It's true. And I mean, some of the things they say do happen, some things not so much, but I very much enjoy it.
Yeah, I think when you play derby, you fall on one side or the other. Either you like Whip It or you don't like it. I fully enjoy it. I thought it was a really good movie. I watched it after I'd already joined in on derby, and it kind of shows like the comeback of derby when derby first came back and started becoming a real sport, and on a bank track, which we play on a flat track, by
Right.
the way. But and like she said, of course, there's storytelling going on.
Yeah, there's Hollywood magic, obviously.
There's Drew Barrymore punching people in the face. We do not do that, just in case you were wondering. But yeah, I think it's fun. I like it. Sometimes I watch it whenever I need to like get excited, and I'm like,
My favorite quote for everything, not even roller derby, is put some skates on, become your own hero.
oh, love that part of it. I'm just like, oh, yep, that sounds about right.
That's inspirational.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love that movie, but I also really like movies. So.
Yeah. Well, and to just relate, I think that's important though. Like, you either love something like that, you either love it or you hate it. I kind of felt the same way when like Across the Universe came out, and I was like, as a huge Beatles fan, like being one of my, probably top 2 favorite bands of all time, maybe second only to Queen. But it's one of those things where when Across the Universe came out, people are like, man, some people would be like, I hate the Beatles and I love this soundtrack, and I'm like, well,
Then you don't hate the Beatles.
yeah. But the way I'm thinking about it, I was like, oh man, the only reason why people care is because of this movie. And then I'm like, well, you know what though? People care.
Right.
And that's the
Yep.
important part.
Yeah.
People actually care now.
That's true.
Not that they didn't care, not that anybody ever stopped caring about the Beatles, but a whole new generation.
Yeah.
It brings in
Found it from
it brings in a new audience, which I think is really cool. And I think movies and stuff definitely do that. It brings in like a new crowd. And even if it's not perfect or it's not right, like it's still getting people excited. I definitely think the only thing about the movie, I don't know if you feel the same way. The only thing about the movie, when I watched it, I was like, man, I wish it was like that. Like, I wish like you just decided one day to play roller derby and then like in like 2 months you're the star jammer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do a montage and then it's just great.
Yeah,
Like,
you pull some skates out of the attic, and
Right.
then all of a sudden that would be great.
I'm going to
Yeah.
put my Barbie skates on, do a montage real quick, guys, just real quick, and then I'm going to be the star
You're gonna
jammer.
be Babe
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Babe, ruthless. You know what would be a perfect double pack, just to incorporate your interest and my interest in almost the exact same story of a movie in the exact same way I feel about it, is like if Whip It was like packed in on like those double DVD packs with Almost Famous.
Yeah.
Because that's the way I feel about Almost Famous. It's like, man, I just wish one day that I would just get a phone call about something I'm passionate about, and the next thing you know, I'm hanging
Done.
out with Sweetwater.
Famous. Yeah.
Fever Dog.
I feel, yeah.
But
Yeah. It
that-
takes a little bit more work than that, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
For most people.
A little bit.
Some people do come in though with like just natural talent.
Yeah.
And you watch them and you're like, I mean, I love you and I'm excited for you, but man, can you give me some of that talent?
The truth in that movie, though, is the camaraderie that's involved. They do show that well, and how they've got each other's back. Even when they not to spoiler alert, when they find out that she's too young to be playing, they don't just go bye. They take care of her. She's part of their family.
They say, no, you're still a part of the team. You know, you may not be able to skate with us, but we still love you and we still want to have you here.
Guys,
So.
I just want to apologize for the spoiler. The movie's been out for about a decade, so I don't know if you guys got a chance to catch it in the theater yet.
We don't want any nerd rage / movie rage for the spoilers, because that gets real legit.
That gets too legit. So yeah, I feel that though. I feel that the camaraderie and everything like that, that's the key to any interest that you're going to pursue. You gotta find your place. You gotta find where you fit in. And if you don't fit in, just find somewhere that you do.
Yeah.
You know? So with the roller derby, you were saying like that's probably the most accurate part of Whip It.
Oh, for sure. And I think too, like I think one of the greatest things about derby too is, you know, when we travel and we play other teams or teams come here and play us, like it's great because, you know, 9.5 times out of 10, you're going to go out afterwards. You're going to go to the after party. You're going to talk to these people. You're going to make new friends. And even like to the point where if we travel for not for derby, but just travel in general, you can always contact that local team and say, hey, you know, I play with the Derby City Roller Girls. I'm scrimmage assessed. I'm good to go. Do you care if I stop by your practice? Because I'm out of town and I'm going to miss my practice. And you can go to other teams' practices and hang out. And it's just awesome.
An international family.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, you just network. Just get your network up.
Just like you do, Sean.
Make your contacts. I don't want to bring it back to music every time, but I just feel like there's what
So
you
many
guys are doing
similarities.
and what I'm doing, or what I did was, very similar.
Yeah.
We should put our heads together and make a roller derby musical.
A roller derby musical or a rockin' roller derby.
That's even better. Yes.
Yes.
It shall happen.
Did you see what I just did there? That came out of the old computer. I'm sure somebody out there is probably like, dude, that was the most obvious thing you could have said. But rockin' roller derby?
Yes.
I'm fully impressed.
I'm just saying.
Fully impressed. I think that's a great
We're going to
idea.
send that up the flagpole and see who salutes it, guys.
I'm just going to put it out in the universe. You know, you just put it out there if you like it.
What
you know.
band would you like to be the soundtrack to the rock and roller derby? Like if you could just get one band to pump you up while there's like say there's a band in the middle of the track and you guys are roller derbying around it.
Oh, man.
What's the band you're going to pick?
Oh gosh.
We're both like,
I don't know.
I can't pick just
Beretta's
one.
like Garth Brooks.
Country music. I
and
know. I was like, country music. I don't know if that would fit. It would work for me.
I mean, I think that would
We're going to
work.
get Brad Paisley in this corner, and then we're going to get Justin Bieber in this corner.
I feel like everyone has that playlist. Like, I don't know if I could pick just one band, but there's always that playlist. Like, and I go through different songs and I will always find like 2 or 3 songs that I have to listen to on the way to practice. And I'm just like, I'm gonna listen to this. I don't care if it's on repeat. I know you stopped at 3 stoplights with me and you know I started this song over at the beginning, but I don't care. I'm still dancing.
What's
And-
on your playlist?
what was that one song that I showed you the last time you were over here? Bonnie McKee?
Bonnie McKee.
Was that the one where she is doing the jazzercise?
Oh yeah, what is her name? Bonnie's. I think it is Bonnie McKee.
I think it is Bonnie
It's Bonnie
McKee.
somebody, and they're doing the '80s jazzercise.
Yes.
That song is radical.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. I will be sharing it on social media because we talked about it. But I believe it's Bombtastic or something of that nature. I will listen to that on repeat the whole way there. And I'm just like, nope, I got this. Look at this chick, 80s gear, jazzercising.
I'm the same way. When I find that one single that just really pumps me up, that's it. Over and over again.
I will basically run it into the ground
Yeah.
until I can't listen to it anymore, and then I'll be like, okay, next song.
I'm that way with Eye of the Tiger.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
my song. for
Classic.
that. Every time Eye of the Tiger.
yeah. I feel that for sure.
That era of 70s rock is great for. And I said 70s, but actually, Eye of the Tiger, I guess, is early 80s into the mid 80s. Basically, dude, the 80s were awesome for any soundtrack, is what I'm trying to say
Yeah,
here. Because
for
you got
sure.
the Eye of the Tiger, you got such iconic soundtracks. Danger Zone from Top Gun.
Yep.
I mean, when you throw that on, how can you not be pumped? Kenny
gotta be.
Loggins, because Kenny Loggins is going to knock it out of the park every time.
Every time. Yeah, I definitely feel like any of those for a workout, I'm down.
Down.
I'm down. The other day at I keep bringing it back to Barefoot, but I just love them so much. The other day,
Shout out to Barefoot, guys.
shout out to Barefoot. The other day at Barefoot, one of the classes got rickrolled. So when you're working out, that may or may not happen, which was pretty funny. He started playing one song and then changed it over.
Dude, I'm the best because if someone rickrolls me, I'm not even mad because that song is the jam.
Right?
Between Rick Astley or Go West or any of those 1990 pop bands, sign me up. Rickroll me every time.
Every time. I'm not going to be mad.
Not even going to be mad at all.
For sure.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're wrapping it up here. I just want to have you guys, I want to give you guys a platform, an opportunity to say whatever you'd like to anybody out there listening, maybe anybody that wants to get involved in roller derby, maybe someone that's always thought about doing roller derby and decided to, maybe that they weren't able to do it. I don't know. It's your time to shine. It's a platform here. Beretta, I'm putting you on the spot immediately.
I'm saying just do it. I thought that I didn't know if I'd be able to, and I just went into this thinking I'll do what I can, and I have already surpassed goals that I ever dreamed that I could do. So just do it. Just get on Facebook and get in touch with us. Look us up on our website, and we will find a way to make it happen.
Yeah. What she said? Ditto.
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 And it was nice to meet y'all.
Ditto. And I think too, like, if you want to do it, just do it. I mean, see what you're capable of and don't let fear hold you back. Because I feel like a lot of times I do that to myself. And then when I'm just like, I'm just going to try it, then it's really not as bad as I thought. And even like, just the league as a whole is just such a great community. And even like all of our sponsors, they take such good care of us. We have like awesome photographers like Larry Green and Moy's Photography and Modus Massage Therapy.
Oh my goodness, Lane fixes all of our bruises and strains.
Oh, he's great. And I just feel like just coming together, there's something for everybody, and we love working with the community. So even like not even just the individual, if you're a company or you're somebody and you want to do some cross sponsorship or you want to do an event with us, like reach out because we're nice. We won't hit you. We promise. We won't hip check you
unless you ask us to.
Yeah,
if you're on the team,
if you're into that sort of thing. Some people are into that sort of thing.
If you are cleared for contact with
yes,
then we will hip check you. But I just think that working with people out in the community is such a great thing, and it's beneficial for both parties. And Beretta will call out to the individuals. I'll call out to the sponsors. Yeah. We were, Phoenix. I forgot Phoenix. Phoenix. They do all of our printing. They're
Thanks,
amazing.
Phoenix.
But yeah, it's not just individuals. If you're a part of the community and you want to work together, the Whiskers are perfect. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love
those guys help us out so much. They have their own knee pads to help us lay the track.
Yes, and they have beautiful facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
What are the Whiskers?
It's the Derby City Whiskers Club.
Mm-hmm. The Whisker Club.
They do facial hair competitions.
Oh, that sounds like something I could probably participate in.
I think you could. Mm-hmm. I think you could. But yeah, I mean, real quick, dropping all the names.
Get it all in, guys.
Get them all in
this
there.
Is your moment.
Yeah.
It's your time to shine.
But
anyone that's ever helped the team, I want them to be, I don't know, talked about on the show.
Yeah. I think it's awesome because not only is it the camaraderie within the league, it's also, people in the community that we work with. And it's just an awesome thing to be a part of. And don't be scared. We're really nice. I promise.
Guys, you heard it. If you're interested, get in touch with DCRG, and you can see SlingHer and you can see Beretta in the flesh. You got a game coming up. One more time, give me all the deets. I need all the game deets as loud and as proud as you possibly can.
It's going to be Friday, April 28th at Champs Rollerdrome in Linden at 8 p.m. Doors open at 7.
Yeah.
Be there.
Or be square.
Just be there.
Dude, that was a threat. Did you hear that? Those are fighting words. Be there or you're square. All right, guys, that's going to be it today for the Sean vs. Wild podcast. If you like what you hear, you know where I am. I'm on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast from. Hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter game is pretty BA, guys. I'm not trying to brag, but I went from being like a 0 to a hero on Twitter.
Oh yeah, all those responses.
Yeah, did you all those Sebastian Bach messaging me?
Oh yeah,
guys, it's the real deal. So make sure you hit me up and then check out DCRG. Come to the game, and if you do come to the game, say what's up. I'll be there. SlingHer will be there. Beretta will be there. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time.
Speaking of having a great time, I had a great time having you guys on the show.
I had a good time,
Did you guys have an okay time?
Yeah.
I mean,
I did. It was okay.
I would say decent, strong.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty good. Maybe. It was awesome.
Great deal. Thank you guys for being on the show. Everybody, this has been the Sean vs. Wild podcast.